Welcome back to the Ambition Over Fear portal. I'm Atlas Opia, and I help people expand their interdimensional knowledge. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how to activate your clairvoyance with each sense. To be clairvoyant is to use a sense to see into different dimensions that are beyond the body and the third dimension. The reality is every single thing exists in multiple dimensions. And in order for something to come real in a particular dimension, energy from the highest dimension has to run through each dimension below it until it hits the dimension it's supposed to manifest in. So to be clairvoyant is to see all the layers that come together for you to experience one sense. And the reasons for being clairvoyant is to understand how to use your abilities in this human body to gather information in the higher dimensions, because the true act of spiritual integration is merging both worlds, using your lower dimensional abilities to access higher dimensional knowledge. And so when you're learning about information in these alternate dimensions, it truly acts as a gateway for your higher self and your spirit guides to bring you the pockets of data, the information you need to go into your subconscious mind and unfold as you're moving through your life. And also, when you're raising your consciousness and you go through an awakening or an ascension, you have to allow the body to catch up. The body is the vehicle of your soul, but the higher dimensional energy is vibrating at a much quicker and more potent frequency than the dimension below it, which is your body. So to upgrade your body, at times your clairvoyance will use your senses to tap into certain frequencies that you can bring into your body through one of the mechanics of your body, which is a sense. So to get right into it, let's start out with sight. To be clairvoyant with sight is to tap into your third eye when you're observing the world around you, when you're in a particular situation, or when you're truly examining how you view the world around you and your place in it. And seeing it through your third eye is really allowing your body to connect to the quantum field of this entire universe. And that happens when you trust that your imagination is not some world of make-believe, but it is how your mind can interpret the information coming in through your third eye, which is a doorway into alternate dimensions. Because your soul exists in all the dimensions, because you as a soul are an individualistic expression of the universe. You are the universe getting to have an individualistic identity that is part of the one unified field of everything, but exists in a unique fashion to inspire expansion and creativity in the universe. So how you can tap into this is when you're looking at something in the world, ask yourself, what layers of energy had to come together for this thing to exist? Instead of always looking at the result of a manifestation, which is you seeing a tree, or you seeing a color, or you seeing a beautiful part of nature, Look at the energy that creates this manifestation. Allow your philosophical mind to take you on a journey where you start to visualize the different particles that have to come together to create the water in the river you may be looking at. Or you understanding, okay, there's a tree in front of me, but how did this tree come to be solid if everything is energy vibrating so quickly that I cannot see it? So then you may go into your imagination and you feel like, okay, maybe it starts out with the purest form of consciousness, and then that runs into this third dimensional matrix. And because consciousness works the same as stem cell energy, which is it can be applied to any type of manifestation. You then imagine consciousness moving into, the element that is needed to create the tree. Then how does these elements form together? When you can feel into that, you're basically moving from, I am seeing the result of energy manifesting in physical form in the world, and I'm just here to observe, to I'm going to use this third dimensional matrix as an example of how energy manifests in this third dimensional matrix, so I can change what exists in my reality. Once you get behind the energy and you understand the layers of energy that have to come together to make something physical that you can see with your physical eyes, you then can understand that this world is a flexible aspect. It is a simulation, in that once you find out how things work, once you go beyond just experiencing the manifestation and knowing how something manifests, you can increase your manifestation abilities. And this is not only for you to get closer to your desires, but really feel like the creator of your reality and the created. It gives your soul the ability to express its interdimensional powers as you use the world as a sandbox, becoming the creator and not the victim. Now, the second sense I want to talk about is your hearing. We've all had times where we go through an awakening or an ascension and we'll hear a high-pitched sound. And then we'll hear a meditative video and it uses binaural beats, so we're hearing these very high-pitched frequencies, and at times they can seem irritating if we don't merge into them, because when our mind feels as if we're going beyond the parameters of it, it begins to panic. Not because we're fighting the mind, but we're understanding the functionality of why it exists to keep us planted in this third dimensional matrix. So as you go beyond the dimension of the body and the identity, your mind will have an issue using these high-pitched sounds or tones to travel into different dimensions, to gather information in those different dimensions, to bring energy into your body so you can heal, or to travel the different dimensions to gather an energy you need so you can manifest in the realms at which your starseed reincarnation is currently operating in, or the realms of Earth. It's all about traveling to find a resource and then knowing how to apply the resource. And so using those high-pitched sounds, flowing into them, communicating with the mind and telling the mind in that moment, hey, you don't have to be right or protect me because I am a soul and I'm going to go beyond the third dimensional body for a second. While I'm away, I want you to understand that you're safe in this body and that I am a soul giving you, the mind, the protection you need to exist even when I'm not there, to operate and function in a peaceful manner. Those conversations, when you position yourself as a higher dimensional consciousness you are, and you're communicating with the mind, the body, and the identity, is how you're going to be able to traverse different dimensions without your mind moving into a state of psychosis or imbalance, right? So sense 3 is smell, right? Now, the interesting thing is, when you're focusing on your sense of smell, you primarily are connecting into the third dimensional matrix. And the whole definition of clairvoyance is to use a sense to better help you travel the dimensions. It's using one of your senses to propel you into the dimension you need to go into. At the very beginning, those dimensions are the higher ones, but after your awakening, or when you're wanting to ground, use your sense of smell to create a more tangible connection between your body and what you're observing in your surroundings. For a while, I used to breathe a lot from my mouth, and I still do, because I grew up overseas. I'm half Arabic, and the air quality was really bad, so I always breathed through my mouth. Then after my awakening, I realized, okay, when I tapped into breathing through my nose, I was able to really integrate into the third dimensional reality when I needed to ground more, because I was always in those higher realms. And at times, if you have had a reincarnation as a star seed, God seed, or angelic being, and you have a knowing that this reincarnation is still happening simultaneously while you're living this life, because time is only linear in the third dimension, you may have tasks to do in that higher dimensional interplanetary reincarnation. And sometimes when you use scent, you can allow your imagination to connect to what is going on in that galactic reincarnation. And your imagination sometimes will say, okay, this angelic realm smells like this, or the resource I'm transferring from this location to my starseed family smells like this. So in a way, it can operate as a function to help your body create a connection to the dimension at which your star seed or God seed or angelic seed reincarnation is currently doing work in. The fourth sense of clairvoyance is taking a moment to realize that taste is also here for you to acclimate to this third dimensional matrix. And we all have a unique relationship with food as we're moving from a human to I'm an interdimensional soul having a human experience. Food can be used depending on what we may need in the moment, depending on where we're at in our consciousness and what dimension we may be staying in too long. We can use food to shift us into the dimension where we're called to be in. And plant-based food, powerful food, is great for elevating you into higher levels of consciousness. But if you always feel as if you're vibrating in a place that is above your body and you're lacking the grounding to fully immerse yourself in this reincarnation while you do your interdimensional work in alchemy, then try some lower density foods, right? At times when I was coming off of my ascension, I was in the higher realms, gathering knowledge, finding things out, remembering information. And I felt unsafe on earth because I was too high up in the ladder of consciousness. So I used chocolate to bring me back down, and not the healthy kind, all right? So the fifth sense I want to talk about to you is touch. Okay, touch is an interesting thing because remember, when you're traveling into different dimensions, through your imagination with your eyes open. You're just feeling into different realms of energy and what they may look like. Or you're in meditation going into different dimensions because you are embodying the holistic nature of what you are as a soul in this body, and you're allowing yourself to continually reactivate the line of energy that's going from the 13th dimension to your body right now. And you're allowing your higher self to be more present. The body during those times when we're in alternate dimensions can feel disconnected. And there are times where if we're gathering information in the higher dimensions, we may be aware of it in our consciousness, but our subconscious is still fighting it, and that's where the shadow can come up. And this can happen because we're not bringing the information we're tapping into through the body into the cellular system in DNA, which allows our system to upgrade and be able to adapt to higher frequency energy. Touch is kind of metaphorical in a sense that you want to feel the higher dimensional energy coming into your body and create the sensation of touch when you do it. Putting your hands on your skin, on your muscles, and truly when you're remembering information, or when you're traveling the philosophical realms of higher dimensional knowledge, or when you're just kind of reminding yourself of truths of this universe, and you bring it into your body, imagine it going through your hands, into your fingers, and then as it's going into your cells, you make the neurological connection by you touching your body that the information you're bringing in is going to be stored in the body, and you're merging both worlds. That can help at times too. And then also touch. In order for your lower dimensional body to be able to control and operate into the reincarnation you may have as an interplanetary being, then the way to do that is you can imagine that your physical body, through your hands, are physically touching the patterns of energy you see in your third eye, or the planet you're visiting, or the angelic realm you're going into through meditation. Now, it might not feel exactly like touch, but you can visually imagine, and your imagination is your mind's connection to the quantum field, that your fingers are making contact with higher dimensional energy, and that can increase the integration. And what happens when we're talking about galactic guardians is when you as a soul are urged to remember a reincarnation that you have had, or you already remember the reincarnation where you're an interdimensional being, such as a starseed, and you are doing particular work in the higher dimensions. You are called to heal or create that then facilitates the evolution of our universe. You can carry on that job from this body by using these tips. And also, I want you guys to know that I make videos like this every Tuesday and Thursday. So definitely subscribe if you would like to merge the worlds together and live a more integrated experience. And for this reason, I offer these channeled videos and wisdom, not only so you can remember the knowledge, but you can understand how it's applicable to your reincarnation in this body, or the one you're remembering through your akashic records. And the coaching is great because the information is here in the videos, but you might feel as if there's a block stopping you from fully understanding how to develop these interdimensional skills that can allow you to know what dimension to travel in, to do what, and how to actually execute that task in the quantum field. So definitely let me know, check the description. And remember, there is new technology coming into Earth in the form of an advanced way to interact with our own consciousness and the consciousness of the quantum field. And if you feel like you're ready to evolve, but the steps there may seem foggy, that's why I'm here as a doorway. All right, everybody who's watching this, thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of our ever-expanding collective consciousness, and stay in peace and power. And remember, you don't have to push so hard. Just receive and let go. Allow the mind to let go of how it used to view reality, because your soul is a gateway into the entire universe. You already know how to do every single interdimensional skill and power possible, but your mind has to let go of the old way of existing and adapt to a hybrid identity where you're merging higher dimensional skills into this third dimensional life. And I can provide that more through my coaching. All right, talk to you guys soon. Bye.